and welcome to Ride Along with Rich, the first and probably only episode in this series. Today we're going to be driving this lovely MG TA from 1938 over towards Bamburgh Castle. So, without further ado, okay, we're just outside the Horizon Festival. We escaped from that hell pit, and off we go. Now, the MGTA is not the fastest car in the world. It has a grand total of about 50 brake horsepower. Should be ample to get us where we need to be. We'll make our progress as best we can, trying to keep within the spin limits and not doing anything dangerous. We don't want that. The TA, as I said, was built in 1938. It's the first of the MGT series, and arguably the cars that really put them on the international map. MG had been a popular mark with racers at the time, but when this car came out, it started a trend for exports to places like America, where it became synonymous with hobby racing series and so forth. The tale goes that American servicemen who were posted over in the UK during the Second World War started to get used to these cars. They realised that nothing like this existed in America, and when they went back they took them with them. But whatever the real truth, there were certainly lots of this series of cars exported to the American, and yeah, it started a trend which kept MG going for, well, even to now, I suppose. Now, here we are with our first obstacle. Let's see if we can get past this. Yes! Foot to the floor. Feel that motor roar. The motor in question was a bit controversial back in the day. Certainly the MG purists at the time were very upset that their lovely, beloved overhead cam engines had been replaced by some sort of Wolsey model. It was looked down upon at the time, let's say. In fact, the purists were very disappointed when the TA was first released. They'd been used to these custom MG specials that have been the kind of backbone of the company up till now. But MG was now part of the Morris Group proper and was expected to use off-the-shelf parts for their cars rather than making everything bespoke. Profit margins were important, which is always a problem for such things. Anyway, here we go across Derwent Water. I think we'll be alright with these speed cameras. Ooh, 41 miles an hour. Pretty full bore. Nice giveaway sign. Let's pull up close and have a good look around. You'll excuse me if I don't look left and right. But you know, I'm doing my mirror signalling and manoeuvring as best I can. Over we go, nice and safe. National speed limit. See if we can get up the speed up this hill. I think it might be a third gear job, I'm afraid. Not the sprightliest of cars. It would allegedly do 79, 80 miles an hour back in the day, which was fast. Mostly because it weighs nothing. Now, here we are, you can see we're doing 50 miles an hour as we go up the hill. But I don't think we'll be getting any much faster, certainly with this car coming up. He also took it out for a nice Sunday drive. There's some guy with his ladders on his roof, some tradesman. Looks like we've got a bit of traffic jam coming up. Oh well, we're just here to relax. We're not here to make a fuss. Though you really imagine a nice BMW SUV could go a bit faster than 37 miles an hour. Right, down to second. See if we can make an overtake. Feel those 1300 cc's really raw. He made it into third. And I'm not really accelerating. I think we might have to back off. Back down into second. Coming up on sort of more like area of Horizon. This is a bit like East Yorkshire where I grew up. Otley it's called. Which isn't actually a real place, unlike some of the places in Horizon. I grew up near a place called Otley. Very nice. As you can see, we're in the summer season of Horizon, so the heather is out in the fields, just delightful purple shades. None of this blasted moor rubbish you hear about the north being bleak. Lovely. In fact, just perfect for a top-down out in the countryside. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, the T-Series spanned almost 2 decades. The final car of the series, the TF, was released in the mid-1950s. It was replaced by the MGA in 1955, I think, which was a much more modern car. Certainly by the time the TF was released, it was looking very long in the teeth. Separate running boards and separate headlights, was from a very different pre-war era, and its replacement was a lot improved, let's say. It certainly could compete with its contemporaries in ways that the TF couldn't. See if we can get past any of this traffic coming down here. Oh, we can see the sea. Look at that. Beautiful. Always the first person to see the sea got prizes in the car when I was a lad. I can see the sea, etc. Very good, very good. Some sweeping curves on this moor side. I really think this Mercedes could be doing a bit better. I mean, I excuse the Land Rover because it's we're down in the 30s here. It's not really good. Maybe they're taking in the view. In fact, speaking of views, down the bottom there you can see Bamburgh Castle. Very, very pretty. Lovely part of the world, the northeast coast of England. I once spent a geography trip at Bamburgh. One of the nice things about this car, which I'd not noticed before I played it, is you can actually see the reflection maps really well in the bonnet because it's long and flat, and you can see the sort of lower resolution. Ooh, bit of a brakes there. Nobody saw. No anti-lock brakes on these cars, of course. Yeah, so I was saying you could see the reflection maps there. You can see that kind of lower res than they might be, and you can also see them blending as you move between zones of reflection, I guess. It's hard to know exactly how it works, but my impression is that there's a reflection map for almost every area of the map, and it's blending between them as you move between them. Rendered at a lower resolution to save memory bandwidth, one of those two. Now, we've been progressing along for a while. It's starting to get a bit dark. You don't make a lot of progress quickly in cars like this. That's fine. That's fine. We're not in a hurry. Unless like this Mercedes, it's definitely not in a hurry either. I mean, what is this? 30 miles an hour? We'll be able to check with this delightful speed camera. No worries here. Getting in trouble with the law. Look at that heather on the south side. Beautiful in the late evening sun. Let's see if we can get past this with a bit of sprightly acceleration. The 0 to 50, not even 0 to 60 time for this car is 15.4 seconds, so it's not lightning fast, but for its day. I just realised we can't actually cross this white line here. We should be obeying the rules, even though we've got a good run on the car. I don't think we should be breaking any road rules. We've got to, show a good example for the kids. Take it steady down this hill. These old drum brakes aren't that good. Don't want to get everything too hot. Definitely can't overtake here. Very poor visibility on this corner. Now, MG, of course, was... Well, the MG stands for Morris Garages, which was a offshoot of the Morris Car Company, based in originally Oxfordshire. It was actually the brainchild of a man called Cecil Kimber, who was a Morris dealer in Oxford, he started building specials, racing specials built on existing Morris cars. In fact, the first one was based on what I believe is a Morris Bullnose. Oh, we can hear the steam trains. There's the Flying Scotsman that rattles through these parts on a regular basis. Sadly, not a good view today. No doubt the tourists will be out to spot it. But yes, soon the Morris Garages specials became very popular and they started building cars of their own. Now we need to cut across here, so I'm going to go a little bit off-road. The Morris cars, the MG cars of the day, were renowned for their trials abilities, so a little bit of off-roadings, nothing to be scared of with these cars. Got a nice big bouncy suspension, nothing to worry about. And it's not my paintwork to buff out, so there you go. Scooch through this bit, back to the coastline. Ah, it's getting quite dark now. Good job we've got our headlights on. A bit of a Ford here. I don't think I would really like to do this for real. But, and if people do, eventually Morris Garages, as was MG, moved out to Abingdon, just outside of Oxford. That's where the headquarters were for a very long time, in fact. The MG works, I think, closed in the 1980s. Production was moved to the Longridge plant at Rover, where they built the MGF and so forth. Now we're approaching Bamburgh, as you can see. One benefit of taking our time to get here is it's now night time. You can see the castle illuminated beautifully. Yeah, welcome to Bamburgh. Very nice. Glad to be here. Just pull up in the car park here and have a little look around. Ooh, get the right entrance. This is the way in. Look at that. Lovely stuff. Well, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. And maybe we'll see you again one day on Ride Along with Rich.